Hello citizens of Tokusatsu Central, I am Jared Rand, and today I'm going to be doing the review of the DX Full Rabbit Tank bottle. Boom! I done goofed ya. We're not doing the Robot Spirits Gypsy Danger until after our next review, because frankly I feel like these are more important to push out instead of just a sloppily made figure review. After all, considering the fact that, well, those reviews are kind of the most time-consuming and the most annoying to make, as I am not a master with words when it comes to figure designs and overall, all that stuff. I'm more of a, noise-making Tokusatsu toy fan. So honestly, it gets kind of annoying when I have to constantly review figures. But then again, as my fan base always tells me, I should do what I want with my toy reviews instead of having to listen to my inner psyche, because that part of me is just kind of a little tiny bit insane, I promise. I promise it's fine. But New Jersey is currently stuck inside of a giant snowstorm, so I thought, why not, go on and just do some toy reviews while I have the time. So here is the full Rabbit Tank bottle, and as you can see, it's kind of strange when compared to your standard full bottle. As we can see, it's basically, taking our two standard examples, Rabbit and Tank, basically just taking two full bottles and sticking them together. But as you can see right here, they're actually much taller than, your standard full bottle. Taking a closer look, the line right here barely makes the full bottle go up to the top. So obviously they took some liberties with what you can do with a full bottle, obviously, as can be seen here with a lot of precise detailing all over the toy. Here's the cap, which actually has 3 sides to it, as you can see with the panels in there. It actually switches depending on which form you want to do. Now this doesn't have any effect on what form is chosen. It really is only there for the visual effect of the toy. So you can switch through it all you want. It doesn't change a thing. There's the Build logo right there, embossed of course. Or actually sort of debossed. Your details all over the actual toy. You got some gold. You got your clips. You got the stuff on the back. The button that you press in order to split it open, crack it down the middle, and just like that. And of course the silver side, which is basically the same thing, but with a turning cap, where most of the electronics are. If you take a look in here, there's nothing except for the spinning panel, while in here, there's all the wires and stuff. So, this is the one with the electronics. So, if we pull it out, yeah, this toy is annoyingly motion sensing. While something like Rabbit Tank Sparkling, you don't necessarily have to shake it in order to get the transformations done. With this, you need to shake it. Sorry about that, the energy on my phone died. But as you can see, in order to activate the forms, you need to shake this thing. But honestly, it's not as bad as it could have been. So, in order to get the rabbit noises, you just shake it until it gets there. This standby noise will be the only standby noise in the actual toy. And in order to change the form, you'll split it in half, but we'll get to that later. And so for that, we'd shake it quick. There's our tank noise, and just like that. So really, honestly, spinning these doesn't really do much of any difference. I'll split it right down so you can see the details of that right there. So there's the rabbit, of course. Pretty nicely done in there, and the tank. Sort of crudely drawn images, but, I'm not going to complain. And then your standard one is in green, right there. So, pretty nice overall. Let's bring in the build driver and see what we can do with this toy. Of course, we need our build driver to initiate everything. But another thing we need before we get everything said and done, we actually need the hazard trigger. Yep, remember this guy from a couple reviews ago? Actually, a lot of reviews ago. I'm really going through all these reviews. Yeah, basically, The full rabbit tank bottle needs the hazard trigger in order for the sound effects to feel complete. So, that's why they released this alongside this. Well, not really. You can buy this in a set with the full rabbit tank bottle so that you don't really have to make sure that you get the hazard trigger on first run. So, you'll be good. It's kind of like a Hyper Muteki situation here. You can buy both, individually, or you can buy them together in a set. So, in order for the hazard trigger noises to be on the correct setting, we'll press it and set it right in there. But it will actually need to be in max hazard on, but we'll get to that in a bit. Just shake it. Spin it to the right, and split it in half. It just said rabbit and rabbit. Press this again. The Crimson Speedy Jumper, Rabbit Rabbit. So Rabbit Rabbit is our super form of the show, our maximum mighty X, if you will. Sort of. So Rabbit Rabbit and Tank Tank share the super form title together. You can only have one and the other. You have to parallel each other constantly. So obviously it's basically needed for something like this. Tank Tank and Rabbit Rabbit parallel each other in the sense that they're basically your original form but split up. So you need to have one when you have the other. And for the finishing attack, one thing I find cool about this toy is that the noises in this guy for the finishing attack actually continue on into this guy. So, both of the explosions at the end are actually lined up accordingly, so that both of the finishing attacks can be equal, in a sense. So, with that out of the way, and this will play when you pull it out. And now we'll get into Tank Tank. Sorry, just wait. So it said Tank and Tank. The Blue Steel Warrior, Tank Tank. Now another thing that I really like about this full bottle is the fact that even the transformation noises are able to go off of each other, in the sense that when this guy says yabe, this thing says another phrase. So for Rabbit Rabbit, it is haye, and then for Tank Tank, it is sue. Only translations for Rabbit Rabbit have come out for the last part. And haye basically means, too fast. It's too fast. So it's from the proclamation, or the whatever the hell the word I just said was, the annunciation, or the announcement of it saying yabe, the reasoning for it saying yabe is coming from here. So, let's just get right onto the finisher. Once again, I really like how the finishing noises are aligned to where even the explosions happen at the same time. So, now that we're done with that, we can get right into my final thoughts. So overall, the full Rabbit tank bottle is honestly a must-have for anybody who's been collecting the Kamen Rider build line overall. You know, regarding the fact that you need a hazard trigger, it's not that big of a deal considering they did the same thing for last year's Hyper Muteki. So honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And overall, I would say it's a pretty fun toy, although that shaking thing does get a little bit annoying after a while. I like how this thing has electronics, you know, putting it in the same spot as something like Rabbit Tank Sparkling and the Crocodile Crack full bottle, although much better than Crocodile Crack. I don't hate that toy, I just find it unnecessarily noisy. You know, you don't need the noises in that toy. But for this guy, I love how the sound effects sync up from the hazard trigger. Even the finishing attack syncs up, as it does in the show. When it says hazard finish, it says tank finish. When it says yabe, it'll say something like sue or hae, which I like because it's saying oh no, and then it's saying why it's saying oh no. Which, once again, I really like. So overall, if you're a fan of the Kamen Rider build toy line, and just overall, if you really want a solid Kamen Rider build toy, this is a definite must-buy. So, thank you guys for watching. Like if you enjoyed the video that much. Subscribe if you want to see more, and comment if you want to ask any questions about the actual toy. You can check out my Instagram, Rand.Jared, check out my other YouTube channel, Jared the Collector New, and, of course, check out my Discord, the Land of Otaku. And, I will see my fellow citizens of Tokusatsu Central next time when I review this big boy right here, the full bottle buster. This is a big one. This thing is huge.